What's up, you guys? Hope that you are having an amazing day. I am. I wanted to just share this message um, with you guys on today, considering we are approaching a new year, 2025. Let's go. But I wanted to just share this message with you in regards to transformation and something that may sound so cliche to some people, especially in regards to personal development. But what I would say to those that found it cliche, or those that are still searching for a different version of yourself or a different aspect of yourself, is start off by being honest, right? First thing we do, we acknowledge it. We consciously acknowledge it in our minds that I'm going to make this transformation. How do you know when it's time for a transformation? Or how do you know when you're going through a transformation? When there's a desire in your heart and that's something that you yearn for, to become something different or to change the outlook of your life, then you know that it's time for transformation, because the only way that desire is going to be made manifest is to make some changes and to shift. And oftentimes we look in different places of our lives to make those changes, and the first place we have to look is within ourselves, right? And that's being honest with things that may not have been noticeable. For instance, even your emotions, even more importantly, your mindset, because there can be a mental block. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes it is the traditional habits and patterns that we have. You could have spent a lifetime learning so much, obtaining or acquiring so much knowledge, but there are still some patterns and there are still like habits that you have accrued from, your upbringing, or just experiences or certain beliefs or what have you. And sometimes they have to be updated as well. They have to, you got to change those things to take off that mental block, right? I think we get so caught up into feeling comfortable and changing only what we want to change, or when we want it to change. We want everything to be comfortable. But a real transformation, baby, you can't determine how comfortable you're going to be in it or how it make you feel, because you're taken away from a real authentic transformation. Transformation means getting out of your way. If it makes you uncomfortable, being okay with being uncomfortable, but allowing that transformation to do exactly what it's supposed to do. And I think that we also have to confront the things that we like and the things that we dislike, because you want to know your strengths. You also want to know your weaknesses, and that's how you make a real transformation. Hold yourself accountable also, but making sure that you're patient with yourself, making sure that you have empathy, but being honest with yourself throughout the entirety of the process. That's what a real transformation looks like. I also want to encourage you that when you are going through a transformation, not to look at yourself through the lenses of someone else, not looking for validation, what someone else feel about you, what someone else think about you. And I say that with all honesty, because that's most of the time that's the problem, because we have spent so much of our lives, trying to fit in the culture, trying to conform to the ways of the world, and you have literally lost yourself in the world. And those desires are coming from within, and that's our soul. Our soul knows exactly what we need, and when our soul is not being fed, then we're starving the soul. That means that you're outside of your identity. The lifestyle that you are living is outside of the identity that God has given you or predestined for you. And some of us stand on God's word that He has plans to prosper us, to give to us hope in the future, but it just seems like it's not happening. And it's because there's some deep soul searching that we have to do, and just admit that there's some things that's within me that is holding me back from fulfilling my desires, or from becoming who I know God created me to be. And it's, again, sometimes it's mental blocks as well. Mental blocks come from events, come from experiences, come from traditional patterns, old habits, what have you. All of those things have to change. And I know it sounds like a lot, but one day at a time, one step at a time, those things have to change, right? Because if they don't change, what part of your life is going to change? What part of you is going to change? And you have to take to heart how serious it is to go through a moment of transformation. Like, you got to stop worrying about people, stop worrying about trying to show up how you look to people, how you sound to people. People are always going to have an opinion. People are always going to put in their advice and their 2 cents about who you are. And it's just enough trying to figure out who you are by yourself, and just make those changes. If you really want to see something different in your life, then I know you've heard it a million times that you have to become something different, but someone just telling you that, you know, we know what it means, but I'm just trying to break down action steps that you can take to actually make that happen. And I'm saying for beginners to start, you know, search within yourself and make those necessary changes that are needed for you to change. I love you guys, and Happy New Year's.